Salut, je suis Suma de FrenchArena. When you are describing people, how many times have you found yourself using basic adjectives like triste, fâché, ou timide when talking about somebody? Don't you think these adjectives are basic and can be switched up? Well, in today's lesson, we are going to change that. On commence! Today, I have a vocabulary lesson for you. We are going to discuss 30 advanced adjectives to describe someone's personality. This would help to give you accurate descriptions of people, and this is extremely helpful because we talk about people every time. We talk about someone at work, we talk about probably someone's personality at the supermarket, talk about someone we met at the movies, talking about someone who is driving, maybe the driver beside us who drove recklessly. And so these are adjectives that you can use to describe the way people act or the way they behave. Today's lesson, we're going to focus on their pronunciation and also their meaning. I have also created a free PDF for you, and it contains all the words and the meanings and also a little quiz at the end. All you have to do to access this free PDF is to put your name and email address in the link in the description box below, and you will immediately get it sent to your email. And so, if you want to enhance your vocabulary not only in speaking but also in writing, then keep watching today's lesson. We're going to split this lesson into two different parts. We're going to start off with the positive adjectives, and I'm going to teach you 15 advanced positive adjectives to describe someone's personality. And afterwards, we're going to look at 15 negative advanced adjectives to describe someone's personality in French. Let's get started with number one. Number one, courageux. Courageux, or the feminine version, courageuse. Courageuse. What does this mean? This is a positive attribute because it means to have or to show courage in a difficult situation. And this is a really good personality because for one to be courageous, for one to be determined, it's exemplary. Let's look at some sample sentences. Le jeune courageux a stupéfié le personnel médical. Or for the feminine version, très bien ma petite princesse courageuse. Number two positive adjective, dévoué. Ou dévoué. The pronunciation is quite similar. The only difference is when it's feminine, you put an extra E at the end. Now, how would you define this personality? It just means for someone to be very devoted or very loyal. So to have a very devoted or very loyal personality, how does this person behave? The person is extremely loyal at any given time. So for example, Ken était un père et mon grand-père et mari dévoué. And for the feminine version, you could say c'est un enfant sensible, dévoué et responsable. Number three, perspicace. Perspicace. Describing someone with this personality just means that they show a very deep and good understanding of people and their situations. John est un tuteur très patient et perspicace. For the feminine version, I can say Pauline est une jeune femme intelligente et perspicace. The fourth adjective, inspirant, and the feminine version, inspirante. Inspirant. Inspirante. And so for one to have this personality, it just means that you're the kind of person who inspires someone to want to be better. You inspire people to want to have the best version of themselves. And so they continuously want to make you feel hopeful and courageous, and just know that no matter the kind of fear you have, you can do this. So they're extremely inspirational. Their personality is inspirational. Mike a reçu des prix prestigieux pour son leadership inspirant. And for the feminine version, toujours inspirante, elle appuie aussi bon nombre d'œuvres sociales. Number five, trop ambitieux, and the feminine version, trop ambitieuse. Trop ambitieux and trop ambitieuse. Now, for someone to have this personality, you can define them as being someone who has a strong desire for success or achievement. I know that some people might think that this is probably a negative attribute to have, but I think that when you're overambitious for the right reasons, it's really good. Now, for the masculine version, you could say il écrira son livre en 5 jours, ce qui est trop ambitieux. And for the feminine version, you can say elle était trop ambitieuse dans son apprentissage des langues. And number six, consciencieux, and the feminine version, consciencieuse. We'll take that again. Consciencieux and consciencieuse. And you can describe this as someone who wishes to do what is right, especially to do one's work thoroughly and exceedingly well. So that means having this kind of personality means that if you haven't put in your best, you don't want to just give subpar work and think, okay, I've just put in something. No, you want to go over and beyond. For the masculine version, you can say consciencieux et fort, Sébastien est marathonien pendant ses temps libres. Feminine version, you can say consciencieuse et structurée, elle s'assure que l'entreprise soit toujours au sommet de sa forme. And number 7, charismatique. Charismatique. What does this mean? This just means to exercise a compelling charm which inspires devotion in others. C'était une figure charismatique qui attirait beaucoup le public. Jane était une actrice particulièrement charismatique. And number 8 adjective, grégaire. Grégaire. This just means someone who is sociable and fond of being in other people's company. So he or she's personality really shines when he's with other people. John est une personne grégaire qui évite la solitude. Elle est très extravertie et grégaire. And number 9, sophistiqué. Sophistiqué. Now, this just means for someone to have a great deal of worldly experience or to have immense knowledge on fashion, on culture. Il a l'air très sophistiqué pour son âge. Elle m'a certainement paru très sophistiquée. And number 10, ouvert d'esprit and ouverte d'esprit. Ouvert d'esprit and ouverte d'esprit. So don't forget to pronounce the T because it's the feminine version. Now let's see, what does this mean? Having this personality means you're willing to consider new ideas, which means that you're pretty much unprejudiced. Now let's take a look at some sample sentences. Richard est un hôte vraiment sympathique et ouvert d'esprit. Elle était très ouverte d'esprit et comprenant parfaitement tous nos besoins. Number 11, positive adjective. Énergique. Énergique. This just means showing or involving great vitality or great activity. So having this personality just means that you're never really tired. Of course, people do get tired, definitely, but it just means that you're always energized and knowing that you don't want to procrastinate and you want to continue. Le président était un militant énergique. Énergique et déterminé, elle commença sa carrière publique 9 ans plus tard. Number 12, débrouillard et débrouillade. Débrouillard et débrouillade. Now this just means you have the ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. Gideon a été débrouillard et réactif quand cela était nécessaire. Monica est une enseignante formidable, dévouée et débrouillarde. You see, do you notice what I did there? I have used 2 adjectives in the same sentence. And what? Can you remember the first one? Exactly, dévouée. We talked about that in the beginning of this lesson. Let's take a look at the next adjective. The next one, persévérant et persévérante. Persévérant et persévérante. Now, this is an important attribute of one's personality to be able to deal with challenges. It means being hardworking and finishing what has been started despite any barriers or obstacles that may arise. Son incroyable persévérance et sa détermination à réussir sont louables. So just to shed more light on this particular adjective, because I know that some people might not be sure, if you're probably planning to run a marathon and despite maybe you're feeling ill or you're extremely tired some days, you don't want to get out of bed, but you push yourself to continue practicing, that just means you have this attribute. Or perhaps you wanted to start a business and you realize that maybe you do not know everything about starting a business, you don't know the financial aspect, or you keep on getting into roadblocks, but you don't stop, you keep pushing yourself. This is another example of this perfect personality. For the feminine version, you can say athlète endurante et persévérante, Cindy est aussi massothérapeute. Number 14, débonnaire. Débonnaire. I'm not quite sure if they say this like for the feminine as well, like if they say females are débonnaire. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. This just means someone who is charming or suave. They have good manners and they probably look really good. And so you will see that if you search up the word maybe on any English dictionary, some people might say maybe George Clooney has like a sense of this feel of being debonair. So I'm not quite sure if you will go for a woman, but it's also a really good adjective to describe someone's personality. And so I can just say Austin est très charmant, très debonair. And the final one, number 15 of the positive adjective is excentrique. Excentrique. Having this personality means that you sometimes stand out in a crowd and you're definitely not afraid to be different. Même si son endurance physique a diminué, sa personnalité excentrique demeure. Elle est connue pour sa personnalité excentrique et son expertise médicale de pointe. So tell me, please, in the comment section below, tell me if you know any other positive adjective that you can use to describe people or probably to describe their personality in the comment section below. I would love to learn more from you. Now, let's get started with the negative adjectives to describe people. I know that most people might think, oh no, I'm perfect. I know that, of course, I have some negative attributes that I'm definitely always working to change. And it's also very good for you to learn these so that they help your vocabulary when you want to talk about probably someone's negative attributes and just see how that person can change. Yeah, it'll be good for you to learn this word so that you can also improve your vocabulary and just know how to describe other people. Number 1, odieux and odieuse. Odieux and odieuse. And this just means for someone to be extremely unpleasant, so to have an extremely unpleasant personality, or just to be extremely unpleasant all the time, anywhere you go. Sa personnalité est odieuse et elle ne devrait pas être considérée comme un modèle pour les jeunes. Number 2, capricieux et capricieuse. Capricieux et capricieuse. This just means someone's mood that changes very suddenly. So for no reason whatsoever, you're just having a conversation with the person and the person's mood just changes like this. It just goes from 0 to 100. Congo était un bébé espiègle et un peu capricieux. Faites attention à la façon dont vous l'approchez. Elle est très capricieuse. Number 3, negative adjective. Névrosé. Névrosé. And this just means somebody behaves strangely or in a kind of nervous, worried or anxious way. Sam est bien trop névrosé pour devenir acteur. Ma mère névrosée m'a grondé parce que je restais dehors 10 minutes après le couvre-feu. Number 4, lâche. Lâche. What does this mean? Now, this just means someone who is not at all brave and extremely eager to avoid danger, difficulty or pain. En réalité, il cache une personnalité maladroite et lâche. Number 5, têtu ou têtu. Têtu. Now, this just means showing determination to not change your attitude, no matter even if you found out news that could obviously show you that, okay, there is something different, but you're stuck on saying, no, this is what I believe, this is how it's going to be, I'm not moving from here. Especially in spite of good argument or reason to do so. Il est très têtu et ça me rend fou parfois. Je suppose que chaque version de vous est têtu. The next one, étroit d'esprit and étroite d'esprit. Does this sound familiar? Yeah, because we've already learned the positive adjective of this, and now this is opposite, which is the negative adjective. This just means that someone is not willing to accept opinions, beliefs, or behaviors that are unusual or different from one's own, from your own basically. Sa mère avait un esprit étroit en matière de religion. Tu me crois étroite d'esprit à ce point-là? Next one, pessimiste. Pessimiste. Now, this just means someone who tends to see the worst part of things or tends to think the worst will happen. And a pessimistic person is often seen as lacking hope and joy and is riddled with disbelief and distrust. La personnalité pessimiste de Daisy l'a souvent amené à se préparer au pire. Trude devenait de plus en plus pessimiste sur la nature humaine. Number 8, grincheux ou grincheuse. Grincheux ou grincheuse. So if you say someone has this personality or is acting this way, it just means that someone is bad-tempered or miserable. Ces chats ont l'air en effet déçus et grincheux. The next one, radon and radine. Radon et radine. Now, this just means being unwilling or showing unwillingness to share with others, and it implies a lack of generosity. Est très radon avec son argent. Vous qu'elle est économe et radine, les autres c'est méfie d'elle. Next one, prétentieux et prétentieuse. Prétentieux et prétentieuse. A pretentious personality type of individual is someone who tends to put up an air of superiority in order to appear more superior or more knowledgeable than they actually are. Jack est très vraiment prétentieux. Marie est assez prétentieuse. The next one, désenvolte. Désenvolte. This just means someone who is feeling or appearing casual or calm, like you really can't be bothered about anything. Je trouve votre attitude désenvolte et inappropriée. The next one, désagréable. Désagréable. This involves a tendency to behave in a quarrelsome way, in a cold way, and to just be unpleasant. Le cuisinier a toujours été un homme désagréable. Pourquoi mon enfant de 13 ans est-il soudainement si désagréable? The next one, antipathique. Antipathique. This just means this is someone that is not easy to like or not having pleasant or likable qualities, so the person is really unlikable. So someone could say, ce qu'il dit n'est pas faux, mais il est vraiment antipathique. Next one, cynique. Cynique. So a cynical person tends to be suspicious of other people's behaviors or motives. Tu as hérité du cœur cynique de ton père. Elle est devenue plus cynique avec la vieillesse. And the next one, trompeuse et trompeur. Trompeuse et trompeur. And this just means someone who is guilty of deceit or deceiving or misleading others. Jim a l'habitude d'être trompeur. Il est donc difficile pour sa femme de faire confiance à tout ce qu'il dit. Elle était trompeuse et n'avait absolument aucune conscience. And so, there we have it. We have taken a look at 15 positive adjectives to describe someone or to describe how they're behaving or to describe their personality, and also taking a look at 15 negative attributes to describe someone or how they're acting. Don't forget that you can download the free PDF in the description box below. All you need to do is put in your name and email address and you would get today's lesson sent directly to your inbox. It also comes with a nice quiz at the end to just ensure that you have learned how to use these adjectives properly. Until I see you in the next lesson, please do not forget to give this video a like, subscribe, and share with anyone. You can also check out more lessons or more free ebooks on my website www.FrenchArena.com and follow me on any of my social media handles. Bonne journée!